Welcome, 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 everybody. Hello, hello, hello. We are here today for a live session. What happened live on Facebook? This. Excellent. Just make sure it's here. Excellent. Welcome, 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 everybody on Facebook. Hello, hello, hello. I am welcoming you to today's live session. Today's Wednesday, December 29, and we are nearing the end of the year 2021, and we are getting closer to the start of 2022. And this is a very exciting week as everybody's getting ready, finishing up all of their resolutions, right? The old resolutions are going away. They're dealing with them. They're trying to figure out, is that something they want? Is that something they need? Are they taking it with them to the new year? Or is it something they're going to give away, right? They're going to say, goodbye, I don't need you anymore. And we are gathering today for a wonderful live session where I am trying to tell you more about what Neurographic Method is, whether you are a current student in Neurographic, or whether you already learned how to draw Neurographic, or whether it's something you are looking forward to learning how to do in the future. And it's both, or if it's something you never heard about. For any of those cases, this session will be very informative, very practical. I'm telling you a certain myth that people tell about Neurographic, and I'm going to try to disperse that. I'm going to tell you some deeper information about Neurographic if you're already a beginner or an advanced student, something you can start practicing. I'm inviting you to this wonderful journey. And today, I actually made a post earlier. I want to give you a wonderful, wonderful allegory. I watched the Encanto movie with my kids yesterday. It's a new Disney movie. Amazing, amazing movie. I loved it. I was watching it and thinking how amazing, how not just interesting, but how interesting when you start seeing, right? When you work with something and then you look around and you start seeing that something becoming incorporating within what you do at work, you know, what you do in your professional life, what you do in your personal life. Watching the movie and even the song at the end gave me such an allegory to how the constellation system works, the family and ancestor system. About 2 months ago, when I did a lot of live sessions on the psychology of money, we discussed that a lot. We discussed a lot about how what your ancestors do in life will have an effect of what happens with you in the present time, right? And a lot of times those effects are very hidden, are very subconscious, or even completely unconscious to a person. The person, one of the best examples that I like to see, right? One where I worked with a client and the client is like, I want to buy an apartment, I want to buy a house. And we start working and working, we start going into ancestry and we start working with the person's past, you know, life. We go into various programs that are uncovering, as we're discovering what is holding that person back from achieving the goal. In this case, the goal of owning a piece of living, right? Either it's I'm trying to remember, I believe it was an apartment, an amazing condo that the person was trying to buy. And something continued, like found a house, wonderful house, amazing location. The price would work, but something would go off, right? Somebody would come and buy the house right before. And story like this happened with this person like 5-6 times. So the person came to me and said, there's something holding me back. I can't pinpoint. I can't put my finger on it. What is it? So we started working, we started going further into family and ancestry, right? System, what's happening? Is there any story within there that we started looking for? And it so happened that we found, it came up as part of the like constellation system, that a person found that there was a great grandmother who was kind of kicked out of her apartment by her family members. She was kind of like denied. It was her apartment. They kind of moved her somewhere else and kept the apartment. So as a result, that story became incorporated in the system, okay, in their family system. In fact, that grandmother apparently kind of gave like a wish, right, to the whole family, that I wish none of your descendants would own their own apartment or their own house. And this person, right, there's a lot of, again, conversation. We discussed this again during the psychology of money, but this person took upon themselves that, how would you say, that wish, that kind of predisposition that this great grandmother put on the whole family. Okay. And we worked through that. It's so interesting when I watched the movie, right? It has such a great allegory to how a person lives in life, right? Everybody in the family had their own, what would you say? They called it a miracle, right? Had their own special way of living, of seeing life, or a special kind of achievement, or a special miracle in life. And it's an allegory to any person in life. We all have special, that special something, right? Special achievements, special talents that we have in life that we bring to the world around us. And that's the best part, right? It's very important for people to start realizing, except the main character, right? Her name is Mirabelle. I'm going to try to do no spoilers, so don't worry about listening to me. I'm just doing a major allegory. Mirabelle supposedly didn't have any special miracle, and she didn't care about it. She kept talking about the fact that even in spite of it, she feels very special belonging to this family. And it's, again, it's this allegory to a person who's very cheerful, who's trying to say, look, it doesn't matter. And everybody's around her asking her, are you okay without having a miracle and belonging to this family? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. It's so interesting that at the end, she saves the day, so to say. The major story plot goes around the fact that she started seeing that they have a special house. It's a magical house, right? And she started seeing a crack in the house, in the foundation of the house. However, nobody wants to listen to her, especially her abuela, which is grandmother in Spanish. She is the head of the tribe, right? It's so interesting to see. She's the head of the tribe, and whenever Mirabelle comes and tells her, look, I saw the crack, she's like, you just have no special talents, remember. You probably, it seems to you, you're just trying to find your way in the family. So you're trying to pretend as if you have a special talent, that you see the crack that nobody sees. And it's true, when she came to see, the house looks as ordinary as possible. But it's interesting, until Mirabelle would work with her grandma, would say, look, we need to face the truth. Grandmother refused to see the truth. And then now I'm going to give you some spoilers. You don't have to listen, but it's important for the allegory. The house ended up breaking down fully, because once there is a foundation, crack in the foundation, the house will break down eventually. And that happened at the time when grandmother started realizing something. She does not like when her family members are less than miraculous, when they're ordinary. And she started facing the truth. She started facing the fact that certain family members she only sees as not so worthy of being a part of the family. And she needs to learn to embrace them. Everybody has a talent, and we know that, right? So it's very interesting. And then once she embraces that truth, they start building the house again, this time with the right foundation. And again, the house did end up being miraculous again. Has like, it's a magical house. It's really an amazing movie to watch. I really didn't give you much spoilers. If you watch it, there's so many details in there. Another detail is that there is a family member who is, who nobody wants to talk about. And we learned that that's one of the major rules within the family and ancestry systems. When somebody is shunned, when somebody is not accepted by a family, something will happen. Somebody else will take their energy. Somebody else will take their kind of truth and bring it back to the family. And that's what happened to Maribel. It was such an amazing, I'm inviting everybody to watch, and then welcome to write to me. I want to have this discussion, right? Again, I'm trying not to tell you much because I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but truly it is such an amazing movie, such a great allegory. And the best part, at the end, she sings a song about each family members being a star. And she sings a song about constellations. And the interesting part, she says, the important part to remember, stars do not shine, they burn. And she says that when we come together, we help make things brighter, right? When stars gather together, it becomes brighter. When stars gather together, they form constellations. They form certain pictures in the sky that when you look at it and you learn how to make sense of it, people start making sense of it, and people start using that for their own kind of practicality, right? A lot of people, astrologers, they make sense of what they see in the sky. And that's interesting that at the end, that's the song that they use about constellation, about stars. It was such a great allegory to me about how family system works, how we need to be so careful about facing the truth. And I want to tell you, a lot of times students send me questions and say, Lana, when I started drawing Neurographic, it works amazing with me. How come, like after about 2 months, it stopped working? Why does this happen? And I start telling them that resistance that has been built up for many years starts uncovering. And once you uncover the resistance, once you start looking into the foundation of the house, you may find out that the foundation has a crack. And this is very important to remember. That once there is a crack in the foundation, the house will break down. And the interesting part, it's okay to let it happen. In order to build something new, something more amazing, something much more content, something much more stronger than what you had before, you have to allow the old house to break first. The cracked foundation needs to break down, and then you can build something new, something amazing once it's cleared up. Hi, Angelina. Yes, also we watched it yesterday. What a wonderful energy field we're having here. Absolutely, yes. My kids were mesmerized, and we were discussing afterwards, and I was actually explaining to them how, and I actually asked them that question. We always do this whenever we read something together or watch. I asked them, which one of the family members did you relate to? And it was so interesting how each one of them would find a family member that they felt most related to, right? And it was so funny to watch it because most of the time what they said, in my opinion, also worked, because I saw, let's say, one daughter looking like Mirabel's older sister, right? And she even looks like her, right? And she said herself, she's like, oh, I think I'm like the older sister. And it's so funny, right? And I was trying to find a picture of myself. My hair is naturally curly, and I looked, and I also used to wear glasses. So I have a picture. I'm going to try to find it. I promised my kids I'm going to try to post it, but I really looked like Maribel. I had glasses, I had curly hair. Also, the size of the hair was the same as Maribel. And it was so funny. I mean, I don't speak Spanish. That would be the only difference, right? But it's so interesting to start noticing, who do you relate to? And it's so great to start looking at this. It's similar to what we do with MAC card, metaphoric associative cards. When we look at the card, and the person will project their own thoughts, their own emotion, their own way they see things in life, whatever topic you associate with. Same thing happens with this movie, right? You watch the movie, and then you start realizing, hey, I am like this person. And then you start understanding, why do you feel that way? What are the fights you're dealing with in life? How do you stand up to people, right? Mirabel stands up to her abuela, to her grandmother, the head of the tribe. That's like a big deal, right? And you find that I personally found that I do that, right? I stand up to people who people told me later on, they're like, wow, you're so brave. You would stand up to people who everybody else are afraid of. And I'm like, yes. Yeah, absolutely, Angelina. Try that, guys. You're gonna love it. And then you can also ask a question and say, which character do you think you're nothing like? Right? You can ask that. Say, which character do you feel most related, like you look like? And which character you think you don't look like at all? And you can open up that discussion too. That's a great discussion, right? Guys, when you look at your Neurographica picture, let's say the one that's already ready, remember how at the end, during the fixing time, we choose one shape that we want to emphasize, we want to highlight. We make it thicker, we add different type of color to it, we make it outstanding. Whenever I look at my picture, I know which shape, or if it's a huge picture, a few shapes are the fixed ones. And I look at it, right? You can do the same thing. Looking at your pictures, you can understand why the shape is something you want to emphasize, why the shape is something you want to highlight. And you can also find shapes that you feel like, I don't know if I want to be emphasized with this shape. I think I want to stay away from this shape as much as possible. It always works like that. By the way, just to give you a hint, that shape that you want to stay away from, that character you want to stay away from, will be the character that will probably house your resistance, that will probably give you something that you're not ready to view, to face in yourself, okay? Because of course there are characters in the movie where we're like, oh, they're a nice character, but I don't feel any projection. I don't feel like I look like them or I don't look like them. I like them or I don't like them specifically. They're nice. They're a part of the plot, and that's nice. And that's what happens in Neurographica. Today's topic originally was, is Neurographica about drawing wavy lines? I see a lot of open sessions on YouTube, right? I want to tell you about 4 years ago, when I started, I graduated the Neurographica course in Russia in 2018. And that was a year when so many videos started creating on YouTube. And people who just either watched an open session or just took one session with Neurographic, or even just completed the basics course, they would start giving session because it's such an amazing method, and they want to share. I understand that they really wanted to share with their followers or people they just wanted to share with everybody. And they would start explaining Neurographica, and somebody who's an instructor watching it would be like, this is not what Neurographic is all about. So now I see this is happening in the English speaking world. I sometimes go on YouTube, and YouTube, you know how YouTube is. YouTube knows I'm interested in the Neurographica. So it keeps giving me all this amazing videos. And amazing, I don't mean fully amazing. Keeps giving me videos about some random people. They never learned Neurographica. And I know that because there's not so many instructors in Neurographica that teach in English. And whoever is teaching in English nowadays is the ones who are graduated from the Russian Institute. And I know all of them because I was either learning with them or I was their supervisor. One way or another, we're colleagues, right? And the new cohort of instructors in Neurographica, which is based here in English, right? There's a first cohort. They just opened up the Institute in English. They didn't graduate. So there are no natively speaking English speaking instructors. Now I see these videos, people who are in art, right? People, they have a big base of followers and everything. So I always look at it like that. I say it's great. They're making Neurographica more popular. So people who really want to learn what Neurographic is truly about, they will come to me or my colleagues. But the way they teach Neurographic, this is something to pay attention to, right? They will say, let's start drawing wavy lines. They don't explain what wavy lines is. They don't explain it's called a neural line or Piskaryov's line. It's named after the founder, Dr. Pavel Piskaryov. He's the founder of the Neurographic method. I personally learned personal with him, right? And they don't explain that. All they say is, let's start drawing wavy lines. And then they try to explain, or they try, and sometimes they don't do the rounding. But it's so interesting to watch because a lot of information given in those open videos by people who are not instructors, they're not certified instructors. I think there was one person who is a certified specialist, and that's separate because you can become a specialist and you can give presentations about Neurographica, and you can give master classes in Neurographica as a specialist. If you're interested, the specialist course is actually coming at the second part of January. The first part of January, I will be teaching the basics course. Welcome to join me. In the second part of January, I will be teaching the specialist course, and that's a special course where you will actually start becoming more professional, more, you will gain more practice as well as knowledge and expertise into what Neurographica is, and you will get the right to bring that method to others, right? So people really need to be at least specialists in Neurographica. Again, the videos I see are far from being anything professional or bringing the right information about what Neurographic is, and most importantly, how to draw it. So to disperse that popular myth, Neurographic is much more than just drawing wavy lines. That wavy line is called the neural line. And in the basics course, personally, we practice at least an hour. We take time to figure out how the neural line works. How do you draw the neural line in a way that will actually reflect the purpose of what Neurographic is? And the purpose of Neurographic is something I've been telling you from my previous sessions and the sessions I was giving this week. It's an amazing coaching tool to reach your goal. It's a psychological tool to reach your goal, guys. Neurographica, yes, it's a beautiful work of art. And some people who are professional artists, the way they draw Neurographica, a good friend of mine, she actually entered a contest in America, and she won. She got place number 3 with the Neurographica drawing. She took the basics course with me, and she learned, and she actually took the specialist course. She's on her way of becoming a fully certified specialist. She's amazing, amazing artist. And yeah, it's a beautiful work of art, but we need to remember, Neurographica is more than just art. Neurographica is the way to reach your goal. And there is a sequence on how to do that. And drawing a neural line is a way to emulate, is to bring out what is your attitude. Remember we talked about reactions yesterday? Well, the same thing here. Take any topic and start drawing a neural line. I found some pictures from 5 years ago, even before I started Neurographica. And I remember discovering, and this is so funny, I discovered it, like I just started doing it. And I'm like, oh, what a great method. I took a piece of paper and I started putting lines in it, right? Just according to how I felt, I would put lines through it. And there would be a lot of intersections. No, I didn't do any rounding. That's something, again, it's very unique to Neurographica. People don't do it. People don't know about rounding. People don't understand what rounding is. They don't understand the effect of rounding. One of the best part of Neurographica, one of the most psychological effect of Neurographica is the rounding. But I didn't do that. What I did is just take a color and just color each, of the shape that was created as part of the neural lines. When I recently found that old picture of mine, I was thinking, how amazing is that? I actually, a few months later, I was introduced to Neurographica, and then I started learning professionally. But I started thinking how amazing, when I was drawing this picture, I remember thinking, I want to learn how to use art and become an art therapist. But I didn't want to go through the whole art therapy program. It's a long program. It's very costly. And most importantly, it's a very concentrated program. It's like 9 to 5 learning. I had little kids at the time back then, and I didn't have time to do that. But I kept drawing, and I kept thinking and asking, can you, I guess that was part of my prayer, right? I kept asking God to give me a way to become an art therapist without becoming an art therapist. And that's what happened. Neurographica, another way to explain Neurographica, is a wonderful art coaching program. It's very unique. It's very unusual. And it's something that I believe people will truly enjoy. People will truly, not just will, but people are truly enjoying. Over 12,000 people all over the world drawing Neurographica. And I want to tell you, it's one of the fastest growing psychological and coaching tool in the world. I'm inviting you to join that beautiful community, to come and join our course. The basics course is about the way we draw, is about the way we understand what is Neurographica. And the most important part, how do you do it right so that You know how I started with that allegory of the cracked foundation and the house breaks down? That can be very painful. That can be very, very painful and very scary for people. Well, Neurographica allows you to start rebuilding your house, maybe working with a cracked foundation in a way that is safe, that is possible, that gives you hope, that gives you resources, gives you strength to deal with. And Neurographica is an amazing way to learn how to bring, any goal to life. It's a great self-coaching tool. Okay, the basics course is actually how I call it. I call it the self-coaching course. You take the basics course and you come out with 4 amazing algorithms that will teach you, that will help you deal with any issues, any questions you have in life, in your topic, in your goal. You will be able to start, finding a way to release and relieve any kind of stress and start working on any goal in life. And then later on, we'll talk about it in other weeks. If you want to go further, if you want to start bringing Neurographica in the right way, guys, not the way most people do on YouTube, all those open videos, is to become a specialist. A certified specialist is a person, I personally, all my specialists, the way my program is very unique, both in the basics and the specialists, is that I don't just give the algorithms like the original program, but I give the professional expertise. I teach what coaching is. I actually give much more resources. I explain much more. I focus on various aspects of what Neurographic is so that the students take away and come away with a whole baggage, right? A whole bag full of presents, right? And that's what it is. Come join me for the basics course. Learn what the true Neurographic is all about. Learn that it's not just plain wavy lines, but it's a special line that's called Neuroline. And we'll learn how to draw it in a way that will truly reflect how you feel about reaching your goal, and will help you transform it, okay? And of course, we also learn what other elements go into Neurographica. Join me tomorrow. We have another session, live session tomorrow at 12, where I will be giving you more about what Neurographica is. Tomorrow we will be discussing, does Neurographica has a specific pattern we need to copy, okay? It's a very interesting topic. I will tell you how many people think that just taking somebody else's picture in Neurographica and working with it may help them, but it doesn't work like that. Neurographic is very individual work, and I invite you to join me. Thank you for your wonderful, wonderful attention today. As customary, at the end of my session, I'm inviting you to join me in the laughter clubbing, in the laughter therapy. It's an amazing, amazing, laughter is an amazing tool that I started implementing in all my Neurographic sessions. I'm inviting you to join me and laugh with me as we are going to finish our live session. And remember, after you finish the laughter for 1 minute, I'm going to lead you. Just follow me. Don't worry if it's a forced laughter in the beginning. We're going to make a thank you gesture, mudra. And then we're going to feel the laughter energy within our aura. I promise you, it's something magical. You don't have to belong to the Madrigal family to experience the special magic and the special miracle. Okay, again, one more reference to the Encanto movie. And let's start. Welcome to join me for the laughing session. Ready, set, go. As you finish the laughter, put your hands in the gratitude position and just do some breathing in and out. Feel that beautiful energy of laughter, of happiness, of joy in your aura. As you're breathing in and out, allow that energy to go inside of you and strengthen the foundation of who you are, both on a physical level and on the spiritual level, and of course on the emotional and mental levels as well. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoyed bringing this amazing insight about Neurographica to you, and thank you. Wishing you a beautiful day or a night ahead. Goodbye.